We are planning to have community meetings with the key council of elders and the key organizations that are important before we can move forward. But at every stage we shall brief you. I can see even from the previous meetings, we actually look forward for support from CUC members, because hata tukisema tukutane na council of elders, Mrs. Ogura atawapata wapi? Si ndio? So mimi nawategemea nyinyi mnitafutie hao elders ili tuwe na kikao nao, si ndio? Alafu tukisonga mbele tunajua elders si wazee peke yake, si ndio? Tukiongea kuhusu elders pia inaweza kuwa ni kijana ambayo akili yake iko of sound mind, na pia conduct yake ni kijana ambayo ana tabia nzuri na anaelewa sheria na human rights matters. I want to close before Mr. Benson takes the mic from you. Thank you so much and God bless you.
My name is Benson Kasioki. I work for the African Wildlife Foundation. Such a privilege to host or to facilitate this august meeting. We've done it with Uganda, we've done it with Tabeta, but this is the very first time I've been privileged to facilitate such a gathering. So it became a profit. Personally, by training, I'm a lawyer, an advocate who took out a practicing certificate this year, but I'm a converted one. I'm a converted lawyer. I do now practice conservation. Thus, I'm hoping by the end of this, together with my colleagues from the Kenya Wildlife Service, we'll have converted Madam from the traffic, prison, Maungu, people of human rights. We will be speaking the same language. You know, if you're asking, if you are traffic, we will tell you. Human rights, we will tell you. Go and read Article 42. You know, judge, we will show you why you come and plug. You know, that's the multi-agency approach. And so I'll invite Bwana Moses Odhiambo, who is the mwenye boma, atukaribishe.
Let me first take this opportunity to recognize the presence of our judge, Honorable Tulo, our Chief Magistrate, Honorable Ogura, and her colleague, Honorable Kulenji, and to the entire members of Voi Court Users. On behalf of the Senior Assistant Director, Kenya Wildlife Service, South Conservation Area, here to share the session with you. As you are all aware that from here, from discussing the issues that which falls under our mandate as Voi Court Users Committee, we will proceed to Southwest National Park to see what we are doing in terms of safe custody of our exhibits. I'll just share with you a brief overview of our conservation matters within some conservation area. Thank you. Some conservation area comprises or rather covers approximately over 40,000 square kilometers, with the three protected area that is Savo East National Park, covering approximately 13,747 square kilometers, ranging all the way from South Kitui neighbor to the east from Tana River County, and on the southern side, Kilifi County, then towards the southwestern side, Valley County, Masai, and the other side from Kajiado County, Also, Queen County, that's a total of about 6 counties around the entire conservation area. We have 3 protected areas, that is Savo East National Park, which I've shared with you, total square kilometers coverage. Savo West National Park, over 8,000 square kilometers. And Chulu National Park to the northern side of Savo West National Park, covering 747 square kilometers. I think as you are aware that conservation is a universal task which brings us together as national government entities. We in Savo Conservation Area face quite a number of challenges in terms of conservation. These challenges range from poaching for trophies, that is poaching for big game like elephants for their ivory and rhinos for their horns. Poaching for bushmeat, which currently is the major threat that we are facing. I think when you consider that we are also being faced by the global challenge of climate change. Climate change affects our activities in one way or the other. In that farming activities within the communities is not as it used to be. There is low output from our farms because the rain patterns have changed. So this drives some of the communities into illegal activities like poaching to sustain. Apart from that, we also face challenges like livestock incursion due to the liberated or degraded pasture outside the protected areas. You find that most pastoralists or the communities will want to enter into the parks or the protected areas illegally to graze their livestock. And as we know, one of our patrols is that grazing is illegal in the protected areas, especially the national parks. Other challenges we face are like degradation of the environment, that is illegal cutting of trees. We have some neighboring communities encroaching into the protected areas to cut trees for charcoal to sustain their living or do illegal business. As you're aware, if we don't work together as government entities, then KWS will find it very difficult to achieve their mandate in conserving the protected areas. So this forum is one of the very, very many gatherings or discussion forums that will help us to know how we can work together, how we can assist one another. Of course, I want to appreciate this as a message from my boss, the Senior Assistant Director, South Conservation Area, that he recognizes your participation in conservation. You might have not known that you have been part of conservation of nature, that is wildlife and the habitat, wildlife and nature, wildlife and the environment that the wildlife use as its habitat, that is the natural forest, both within and outside protected areas. We appreciate the participation of the National Police Service. We have been working very closely with them, all the way from their prevention and investigation of illegal wildlife crime. We also want to appreciate the participation of the ODPP for prosecuting wildlife cases, helping KWS to prosecute wildlife cases. We appreciate the participation of the judiciary all the way to the correctional facilities, that is the Kenya Prison Service. So you guys, you have been very crucial, you have been very significant in conservation within this entire area, and we wish to keep working as a team. And I also want to extend this appreciation to all those members who are within the CUC who might have not been working directly with us to enforce laws or within the criminal justice. system. We welcome you and feel at home as you are here today, and we will continue working together. So, without so much ado, I just want to take this chance to welcome you on behalf of the Senior Assistant Director to Savo East National Park. So, karibuni sana.
As we close the year, Madam I'm telling you, instructions are clear. So don't slide off the meeting. We will allow you to maybe close your eyes, pray for a bit, but we will catch up as we continue the conversion process. Is that okay? Allow me now to delve into just a brief presentation about what we do, who we are, and I'll call upon my colleague to make now a proper presentation, and then KWS will now come in and finalize on the presentation section. So, African Wildlife Foundation, AWF, you can check awf.org, that is the website address. It's an international NGO operating in 9 countries, African countries. But we also have offices in America, Switzerland, offices in China, and Canada. But those that are abroad I mean now, America and the likes, those are for fundraising purposes. Hizo ndo zinatuletea pesa tuweze kukaa hapa. I've never understood why Africans we don't give. We try to fundraise from the Dangotes and the who is who in Africa, the president, the ex-presidents, but none seem to be giving towards conservation. So, but we have our brothers and sisters in China, Canada, America, mostly America and their governments, giving huge sums of money so that we can conserve our heritage. So, the African countries that we operate in is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Cameroon, Niger, and DRC Congo, and Ethiopia. So those are the operations that AWF is actively involved, and we have a concept that we utilize to do our conservation. We work, the model is landscape. The landscape approach. For example, now AWF in Kenya is in the Savo Mkomazi, the transboundary landscape. Mkomazi is on the Tanzanian side. So our presence in Kenya is heavily in Voi. Voi being the headquarter office, and our operations are within the Savo Mkomazi. That's a landscape. Landscape, basically, think of an ecosystem. The Mount Complex, that's a landscape in its own. The Samburu, that's a landscape in its own. So we take that approach when we're doing conservation, so that even when we're coming to measure our impact, we are able to say this is the impact that we have in the Savo. For example, in the Kilimanjaro Amboseli, we used to call it Kili Amboseli landscape. We have been there for around 10 years, did a lot of conservation work, helped the establishment of conservancies, the scout units like the Big Line, those who have interacted with the Big Line, that's our baby, and we leave the commission to take over. In Savo now, we are working with conservancies in the Taita Taveta County, including the Taita Taveta Wildlife Conservancy Association, and other stakeholders like us who are in the justice sector. So we try and see how we can boost the capacity of the different agencies and also impact with them with conservation knowledge so that they can be able to effectively engage or cooperate with other stakeholders when it comes to matters of conservation. AWF has been in existence for over 60 years. It was first established in 1961, and it has transformed over years from a leadership agency now to a foundation. So somebody might ask, a foundation, does it give money? We give money and also participate in conservation activities. So we're not like more of a donor. We do some grant other agencies. We do give money to other partners, but even us, we have a staff team that engages in conservation. We have a team of experts, ecologists, lawyers, people who have been in security, and we collectively engage in conservation work. So our vision is to, our mission is to conserve, our vision is to conserve Africa's wildlife and wildlands. Cognizant of the fact that there is development. So for us, we don't fight development. Development has to be approached in a sustainable way. It's inevitable. So we can't do that development. African countries are coming out from the lower part trying to come up. So we have to take cognizance of the fact that Africa is growing and we have to incorporate development and conservation. So leading forward, basically we want to champion for leaders, African leaders to champion for conservation. We live for wildlife. We want to see harmonious, peaceful coexistence between wildlife and humans. What now is commonly termed as, there's a lot of human-wildlife conflicts. I know that I used to stand there with the telly, it's on the rise. And then lastly is caring for wildlife. We want to see our wildlife protected. We want to see zero poaching. We want to see levels of illegal wildlife trafficking going down and down. Issues of environmental crime coming down. That's our business and that's what we do, and this is part of it. Through changing our minds, through influencing people to just adopt conservation, behaviors that favor conservation of ecosystems. So that is AWF, and for me, where I sit, I'm in charge of the Counter Wildlife Trafficking Department in the Savo Komazi ecosystem, as well as oversee operations in Kenya and in Tanzania. Smaller sana. Yes, I've been able to rub shoulders with presidents. So, iko hapa. Anyway, that is on the schedule. So I'm saying this, CWT, Savo being, by virtue of being the biggest ecosystem in Kenya, the size of Rwanda, the size of Israel, close to this, bigger than Israel, you expect illegal wildlife activities to be on the rise or to be more than any other area. Again, Savo is served by a major transit route, the Mombasa highway, and then proximity to the port. So this makes this place ripe for illegal wildlife activity. And that's why AWF is yet work closely with the government, that is KWS, the forestry, and other stakeholders like you, so that we see how we can bring down this vice. Indeed, maybe you might not know, but it is ranked as among the top 4 illegal wildlife trafficking and wildlife crimes. Globally, is ranked as a serious crime and is among the top 4, ranked together with narcotics and other activities like human trafficking. So you compare the two, and that's why we come in, and other stakeholders, not only AWF, but other NGOs, International Traffic, UNODC, and other stakeholders from that global perspective joining in this. And they also do similar activities as AWF with a view of bringing IWT down. So it's a global scotch, and that's what I do coordinate. We move into courts, see what kind of cases we have, try, sit down, take that data, analyze, and make sense out of the information. And my friend will be coming, presenting something just to give you a glimpse of what is happening within the ecosystem. I want to say this. There's a quote I said, I read when I was preparing for this CUC. But before that, I was saying, the top now is conservation. Everywhere we go, climate change, conservation. Sindio? By now, I think you felt the bite of climate change. Kama hujasikia, I think you are living in a good world. Ama you are thinking you are living in your own special world. Everyone is complaining. You were expecting El Nino, tukaambiwa imetaksiwa, imekuja. That was the joke. But the thing is this, those are the dynamics of what we are experiencing. And our constitution guarantees us the right to a clean and healthy environment. But there are people who are seriously fighting this. They don't want us to enjoy clean and healthy environment. I happen to come from the hilly side of Machakos County, those who have been to Moa Hills and Iveti Hills. That place, my friend, is dry now. I went home. People wamecheza na environment. Power source right, left and center. The Katunga's forest is kama inaisha. Springs are dried up, and those are the sources of water. The water tower from Machakos town, but it's drying up. People are engaging funny practices that planting eucalyptus everywhere, and we understand these things suck a lot of water. So that's why now we are here to endear ourselves to you so that you can come on board and see how best you can help us. So the quote I was just that I read says this: IWT and poaching, illegal wildlife trade, UDN, IWT. IWT is illegal wildlife trade, and poaching is a global scourge that erodes natural resources and undermines the long-term viability of our ecosystems and diversity. And it goes on to say, the dire consequences of this trade are thus particularly dire for the poor rural communities in the source and transit countries. So basically what's this in summary, and I will be IWT, which is now the trading these products of wildlife illegally, and now harvesting them also illegally, is a global problem. But now its consequences are not felt in those superpower countries. No, they are being felt at the transit countries or in communities which are the source. And these communities that are source is Samo. Samo, Kabeta County is a source country, meaning these products zinatoka kwa hizi countries, like elephant trophy, nyama ya pori inatoka kwa hii county. You understand? So the consequence will not be felt in China, where they consume or they utilize the wildlife products. No, it will be felt here. You understand? Bushmeat poaching for high in the Galana will not be felt in maybe in Nairobi Bama market where the meat goes, or in Mombasa town. No, it will be felt in Galana because Wanaribu mazingira yao. So they are the ones who will face the need, because we understand the ecologists will tell you every species, including fungi, fungi, depending on where we went, has a role that it plays in the ecosystem. So now compare to natural, the food chain. Yeah? You remember? There is a role for every species. So I don't want to, that is my message. We'll be interacting more. I know because of time, we'll look for a forum whereby we come here for 2 days and we impact this knowledge. Ndio maana wakiwa prison akirehabilitate ndio kurekebisha na haki. Akifanya kurekebisha na haki, she can be thinking of how this protocol was brought to me by Madam Obura for 3 years will come out a champion for conservation. They come out, they go back to the bush, but you want them to come out and go and help the government achieve the ambitious project of 50 billion trees. That report ilisikia kwa His Majesty the King. Aliambia His Excellency President Pluto, your program is ambitious. So I was like, what are you saying? It's an ambitious program for 50 billion trees. So we want to see that. We want to see the traffic officer, magari yakipita pale Mombasa Road, they're not overspeeding. Road kids are gone down. The totals that is crossing will be respected. You understand? We want to see the human rights groups and us championing for an environment that is habitable. Those are environmental rights. We want to see LSK speaking vocally and doing litigation, that is touching on issues of environment. So that is the scope. That is why we are here. Sawa. So Christine will just give us stats. She loves statistics. Just something to see what is happening in our bush, in the conservancies, and then you can think about it. We are not coming with solutions now. I want you to think about those solutions, and then when we meet maybe next year, we might come up with something, or even come up with a strategy that we can even present in Parliament. You understand? Yeah. So it's a noble cause. Everyone can participate in it, regardless of whether, some people ask, how can I participate effectively in conservation? Even by the virtue of talking, I will be looking, whoever leaves this room with their wrappers on the floor, that is a sense of pollution. You want to see some sense of responsibility. Pick a mfuko. When you meet up in the station yako, is it clean? Are you recycling? Are you reusing? Those are the things. In our meetings, this is in rush. We don't encourage such. Because we say at the end of the day, these are around 40 bottles. That is plastic. And we are encouraging zero tolerance to plastic. You understand? Do you carry bottle to that need for two small steps? Yeah. But enjoy the presentation, ask questions, interact with her. We'll be able to respond together with our colleagues from the Kenya Wildlife Service. We work in partnership. The government is always on the phone. KWS works with government in different countries, but government being on the lead. Yeah. Thank you.
Is it visible?
Hi everyone. Can we all see my presentation? Is it clear enough for the back? Once again, my name is Christine Wendea Waniki. I work for African Wildlife Foundation. Today we are going to be exploring the connection between illegal wildlife activities and livelihood issues in Tsavo. All along we have been discussing about IWT from the law enforcement perspective. I think today is the time to give it another angle, which is the livelihood bit of it. So first, I would like us to visualize about the court monitoring program that, wow, oh my goodness. Okay. Our court monitoring program at African Wildlife Foundation focus on the red dots. The red dots, yeah. On this side, so this is the Mkomazi bit of it. This is boundary, this is the Tanzanian bit of it. This is the Kenyan bit of Tsavo Mkomazi. So in Kenya, we collect data from 6 courts of law within Tsavo. We have, you can see there's Voi Court here, there's Kundani here, there is Makimbo at the top, Mutombo there, and there's also Loitoktok around here. We also have Taveta locals. So when you see me and Benson and talk about court monitoring, this is the image of where we go and where we collect our data from. So we are going to first discuss the trends in wildlife crimes in Tsavo. First off, I love diagrams. So if I leave you behind, let me know. I can be fast at times, but I'll be keen enough to not leave anyone behind with the images. So this graph first does not include any data concerning livestock incursions. It also does not have any data on illegal park activities, entries, and it is data from our internal database. So we have data from 2019. So in 2019, the y-axis, the vertical axis is the number of cases. The x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, is the year. So in 2019, we collected data involving 99 wildlife crime cases from the total 6 courts of law. In 2020, we had 104 cases. In 2021, 142. In 2022, it was 129, and at this point, along we are actually more than 142 as per Tumefika this year 2023. So you can see illegal wildlife activities are a really serious issue within Tsavo. So if you interrogate the data further, we look at the number of wildlife species impacted. Again, another diagram. So the orange bit, kuna watu wako colorblind. No. Before we proceed.
All men.
All men. I'm sorry about that. I thought I was just to let you know which is the orange. The orange is this one. The blue is this one. So the orange bit is the number of species, and the blue bit is the number of cases. This diagram here tells us that in 2019 there were 3 wildlife species. By wildlife species I mean animals that are not domesticated in Savo. Types of animals that are not domesticated in Savo. There were 22 of them, involving 82 cases. In 2020, there was 27 wildlife, let me call them animals at this point. Animals impacted in 122 cases. In 2021, we had 24 wildlife species involving 159 cases. In 2022, we had 29 different wildlife species involving 125 cases. So we are going to discuss, or I'm going to delve into the top 5 wildlife species that were impacted. I have another image again. But who would want to kill such beautiful animals? Anyway, so sad. So in those 3 years, 2019 to 2022, a total of big species were involved in 127 cases. We had elephant ivory being involved in 44 cases. The impala is an antelope. I hope we see one when we go to the park today. There were 20 cases involving, 40 cases involving the impala. The pangolin, it's not among the top, but it's a species of great concern. It is endangered, and it is of very high value. We have had 10 cases involving the pangolin. And the giraffe, this happens in bulk, it's a lot. We have had 12 cases involving the giraffe animal. So, in a pursuit of understanding some of the drivers of illegal wildlife activities in Savo, African Wildlife Foundation and together with KWS took the initiative to go to the villages, to the community where these things happen. As we try to solve the issues, we have to understand what is making these people do this and this. What are we missing? What can we do better? So we have had sensitization workshops in places or in villages that are rife with bushmeat issues. We have gone to Kalio, Gazi, Kasokoni, Paranga, Kamtonga, Alia, and we have reached more than 500 community members. And here the main aim, the 2 goals for these reach outs. One was to understand the drivers of bushmeat issues in these communities. Number 2 was to create awareness on wildlife crimes as per the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act 2013. And the investigation processes, the court processes, offenses and penalties under the WCMA were explained. Human rights were also discussed because the villagers disclosed actually that there is foreplay during their arrest when they are called bushmeat. They claimed Manapigapigua, and we really discussed that at length. The compensation process was also tackled by the KWS guys present there. So the findings of these sensitizations were as been discussed. Drought was cited as one of the drivers of illegal wildlife activities in Savo. With climate change here with us, we can no longer predict, and Savo is seriously hit by climate change with these continuous dry periods, the hot temperatures, the unpredictable rainfall, and the people are disclosed that the integral now is close. We can see it has rendered our lands agriculturally unproductive. There's also the issue of unemployment among the youth, especially among the youth who are mainly the victims or who are rather caught on the wrong end of the law. Opportunistic hunting. This is what I mean. I have a farm. I am farming maize. And a wildlife comes to my farm. We find each other. Me, I need food, and I have the power to kill it. See, I will kill it. It was in my farm. That is what I mean by opportunistic hunting. Ilikuja kwa shamba yangu and I needed food anyway, so it happens. So with little left from their farms and actually no money, these people have no choice but to just ikikuja and I'll kill it. If I find a way to Kenya into the park or get a wildlife species along the way, I'll kill it, get money, send my kid to school, find food, all that. So that's another challenge or other driver of IWT here. Ignorance. Most, actually not all of them, but some members of the communities, they are completely not aware of the impact or the magnitude of their actions. They see food, They don't know that if you kill this dick today, the wife or the husband will be lonely and they will die of depression. They really don't get it. Yes. So in conclusion, illegal wildlife activities, this is not just a law enforcement issue, it stretches beyond leveling issues, and I'm calling upon us today, within our mandate, Madam from prisons, Madam Kizenji from the courts, there's an NGO there, Benson from AWF. What can you do to tackle IWT from both ends? If KWS brings in the law enforcement bit, what am I bringing on the leveling issue to help that youth mwenye amechukua bodaboda na loan and he's into business and he needs to pay up that fast so that business can be good, anataka kuuza jilaka malize hiyo maneno. What alternatives can we provide these guys with? And that's how I believe charity begins at home when it comes to illegal wildlife activities in Savo. Thank you so much for listening to me.
To here, these figures, 22, we registered 28. This is data collected from the court's records alone. I know this. KWS has the accurate information, but this is for us. Now you see, like 2019, when I came in, 22 species. We are talking of maybe a array of antelopes, deep, gazelles, and I've seen even cases whereby people are poaching this Savo cat. You can imagine 22, you can list them. Nyingi, Gerela, buffalo, giraffes, Ikapanda 27. This is during the COVID time. You see the number of species that were impacted were many. So when you mean by impacted, you mean that's those that were poached were around 22. Different kinds of species, not just repeated. Of course, it seems to be more, it features in more cases, but there are others. Like you see, some of the poachers, like for example, 170 clicks. 170 clicks cannot be equivalent to one giraffe, but you see the frequency is high. Like there's a time, a case, somebody was one giraffe, a full giraffe is equivalent to 1 ton. Giraffe, 1 ton, and the dick is 3 kgs. One dick is around 3 kgs. That is like when it's alive. Dead meat can be, dead meat can be lower. So, and this trend keeps on growing. Maybe something else, and I'm saying this for the students of study here. These trends, they're interesting. Now, when we look closely at the livestock incursion cases, the community is clever. The trend is showing us that employing children. We used to have a problem, and it's still there. Children being deployed into the parks. Now they're sending children going to do hunting. We've had cases whereby now a father has recruited the family. I think the JOs here can tell you. Anakuja anasema idadi mzee alifunza. So this is for us. We now ask you to maybe we'll come now when you sit down in those sit downs so that you can know how best can we tackle this issue of children. The law now is, they know that this is favoring children, you cannot, the process is different, you know, kuna hiyo separate file inafunguliwa. So we need to see how best, and here we have another problem. Illegal activities in the park is a part of offenses. Illegal entry, laying of snares in the park, extractive activities like fishing, mining in the parks. Those are problems that are with us in this Savo conservation area that needs to be dealt with. And I know the KWS team will shed more light on that. So they are a problem. Now they are also using motorcycles to fail because you not see canters. The canters that used to come to court, you not see them. You not fail. But motorcycles is a means. You understand? So they have discovered if you go that route, you are able to pay service that loan haraka. Actually, they were saying, not kila community wanakwambia a giraffe kama bodaboda. People to bodaboda. You understand? So this is what is happening, and we have seen also logging happening. It's silent but inafanyika and charcoal burning. We go to those conservancies, deep in the conservancy, you find a whole area imekuwa cleared. Iron tree takes a lot of time. What of us watakwambia, for you to have one sack of charcoal, the economics of it is that you need like 10 logs. You see a sack of charcoal, and I know most of us will be going home. We are privileged to have GKs, to play makaa, kuleta kwa nyumba, you know. Ikifofetiwa pale, nakuja pale kwenu. Those things, I know this is the job of the team. But I can tell you for sure that one sack of makaa is equivalent to 10 logs from research. 10 logs, makaa yako ni nzuri, eh? Can I tell you something? Ni hardwood. Wanasema ni nzuri, haina smoke, nini. But that tree takes over 50 years. Wachona tu kwani ni kitu kubwa kidogo hivi. You know, it's fodder for rhinos, it's fodder for elephants, it's fodder for this wildlife. Zile ng'ombe zako umebebewa na Somali pale ndani, they go, they clear everything in the park, will continue crying human wildlife conflict. You see? So we need to put it here, but you can tell you corruption is a problem. Sawa sawa? Yes, watu wa EACC, you can, that beam of light can kulika huko kwa conservation sector. Inaweza kuwa watu kadhaa. So those are things that are happening, and corruption worldwide. That's why we have the United Nations Convention on Corruption, combating corruption, something like that. It's a catalyst for illegal wildlife activities and poaching. Sio wale msimesikia wakisema kotini hizo crime forward, wali bribing the backfire. Those are things that we face. They are there, we know, but we tell you with the conservation mindset, let's come on board and do this thing. Thank you. I'll call now the hosts.
Yes, as I introduced myself earlier, I'm a Taranki from Kenya Wildlife Service. I am an investigator and also one of the prosecution officers from Kenya Wildlife Service. And I think I have around 15 minutes. Yeah. 20 minutes. Oh, 20 minutes. Sisi tunapenda sana kutunga time sababu tuko hapa kukaa sana, tutake tuwaweke. Today we will be privileged. Leo tutakuwa privileged kuona ndovu. Nasikia mkubwa hapa amesema kuwa tutaingia ndani ya park and we will be able to see. Nataka mtu leo apatie maziwa ndovu live, sio ndovu ule mwenye kuna maziwa utampatia ndovu leo. Then we will see generally beyond the issues of exhibit management and chain of custody. That is something where we have been having a lot of problems with advocates on the issues. Kila kuwezo wanacycle the exhibits or mtu akashikwa sijui exhibits wake or something like that. Recently we have our new CS akiwa upande wa Kongoyo. Aliambiwa KWS wako na pembe moja peke yake yenye wakishika mtu from Voi wanaweka, from there wakishika mtu Mchingani wanapewa. Akasema amepewa na exhibit hiyo pembe tuna Nairobi. So I don't know what atatoa hiyo exhibit. Anasema ni moja tu na side plate. We'll be able to today to see the processes in which we are following, so that when you see that exhibit in court, you know there are other processes behind the scene that have taken place to safeguard the admissibility of evidence and all those processes that are needed. Without wasting a lot of time, I'll go straight to my presentation. Kenya Wildlife Services are established under the Section 6 of Wildlife Conservation and Management Act 2013. These things. KWS is mandated to conserve and manage. What is it? Saying that Kenya Wildlife Service is a state corporate that has been established under Wildlife Conservation and Management Act, that is Section 6 of Wildlife Conservation and Management Act. KWS is mandated to conserve and manage wildlife in Kenya. KWS imepewa kama custodian of the whole wildlife, hata ikiwa kwa shamba ya mtu, hata ikiwa, that is why you go somewhere in Nigeria known as Wildlife Conservancy is a conservancy, not belong to KWS, but utapata KWS wakiwa ndani, because the wildlife is a national asset, but the custodian ni Kenya Wildlife Service, and that is why other in private lands we will go there, and that is why we issue a license when we want to work at these the chemicals, tunakuja kuassess kwako tuone kama unaweza keep the chemicals, the ostrich and all those. Na tukiona kuwa hauchumi mzuri tunarudisha, because we are the custodians of wildlife in Kenya. So I was trying to chain of custody. What is this thing known as chain of custody? Chain of custody refers to the movement of exhibits right from the recovery time until the time it is being presented in court. I know some of you munajua from judicial point of view, munajua that there is a change of custody. When that time comes, when an exhibit has been seized or somebody has been arrested, na akona kitu fulani, maybe kama ni nyama, kama ni pembe, whichever kind of exhibit, there must be a chain that shows how this thing changes hands from one person to the other. Ndio hapa katikati tusiwe na nini, tusiwe na mambo ya kusema labda ikibadilika ikaenda mahali pengine. No. From that point of view, convince that the chain of custody should be maintained. The proof of which of who already worked with their possession and the question which the court of law will require clearly explain. That is the reason why koti ikituuliza kuwa hii pembe mnalishika mkugawana imefikaje Voi Locals, we have to explain that imeletwa na mtu fulani who is a witness in this case. From there ikaingia kwa investigating officer, yeye pia mpaka assign kuwa amereceive Then now to the expert, you need to become an expert, iende kotini, and for your information, utaona hizo vitu zote leo. One exhibit in Kenya Wildlife Service, it must be signed and approved to take the exhibit room to court on any occasion that exhibit moves from exhibit room, and it is not new. It is around 4 people signing the requisition to take that exhibit to the court. There is that IO, there is somebody in charge of stores, there is somebody in charge of prosecution, there is somebody in charge of PAR, should authorize. Without that authorization, tutakuwa na maabusu. Kwa sababu tukikushika hata kama ni Kenya Wildlife Service officer, tumependa kwenda from an exhibit room to one levels, na itasemekana kesi hiko, utatuambia kwa nini exhibit removed. So that is generally what we are trying to say. Some of the exhibits that we have is the air cameras. These are some of the exhibits that we have. Independent, ya ndogo. Na nyuma yake mnaona backstage. So these are some of the, this is a photograph that was taken somewhere. These are some of the exhibits that we have. Why do we need this chain of custody? Many objects are not primarily identifiable. Address might involve defectiveness of industrial machinery, damage automobile parts, or contaminated food, or displaced in hospital places. In none of the situation is a witness likely to recognize the relevant object with any certainty. Ule witness ni anakuja kotini, akiulizwa swali, anaweza identify hii exhibit yenye yeye mwenyewe alishika. Na that person, who is an accused person, can identify this exhibit kuwa ni ile alishikwa nayo. So, during the question is also necessary when an exhibit has been subjected to testing or analysis. Tutaexplain aje kuwa tumepeleka pembe to an expert kwenda kuona that exhibit kutuambia kuwa this is an elephant tusk. It is not an exhibit or anything else. When we get this task to the expert, mpaka that chain of custody inaonyesha kuwa imemove from an exhibit source to an expert na aside from that end. Then now, in will be sure, then it will give to you. Inataka kuwa imerudi wapi? Kwenye exhibit room. That is why we need to have this chain of custody. The same holds true for an item that is used to disclose a physical property in the courtroom. That is an obvious thing. I think must be established to show possession of the exhibit from the time of underlying incident and into production. That is what we normally do. Establishing a chain of custody. A chain of custody must be at a minimum be sufficient to show that the object in court room is the same or is the same one that has involved in the events being considered at the trial. This can usually be accomplished by placing the possession of the item as it is passed from one to one. That is what I was explaining earlier. This chain of custody mpaka nionyeshe kuwa it will move from this person to this person na irudi the same way mpaka iende the chain iwe complete. In some situations, it is necessary to show that the object was stored during the indefinite period in a manner that is secured it from temporary and inadvertent change. In either case, it may be. Hiyo ni kumaanisha kuwa hizi pembe tukishika, let us, I'm using so much the issue of elephant tusk because that is one of the elephants. Utaona leo of the tusk tuko nayo kuwa ni nyingi as exhibit than zile vitu zingine. Ni kumaanisha kuwa at that time now when the exhibit has been seized from an accused person or anywhere, that exhibit, when it is brought to the exhibit room or the IO brings to the exhibit room, it must be indicated time, place was seized from this person, name blah blah blah, so that it cannot be mixed with any other incident that maybe it was seized the next day. The time, the dates, and the agreement of the accused person, and all these other things should be indicated in that exhibit, jail of custody. So that even if you do have 7 arrests in a day, it has a distinct time. It has a distinct names of accused persons. It has a distinct identification features. Because now, if you make these exhibits to the expert, it tells us that this is 7 centimeters long, the base is 10 centimeters. For those of you who have been able to see the expert report, it indicates that this exhibit, the centimeters in which that internal curve equal to centimeters curve. The base of the third pass equal to centimeters curve. So that you cannot produce with any other. These things are not the same at any given time. Ni kama hivi kwa wetu. Nikipima saa hii yangu moja na yako ni kadogo, haitakuwa the same. Sio? Ni kwa sababu there are different ways ya to differentiate one thing from the other. The custody of exhibit is a very important part of any investigation and trial process. That is an offense. As a chain of custody, the very chain of these exhibits must be maintained, and it is important for trial to as an for investigator for the trial. Chain of custody. Chain of custody can be used to maintain and run records of custody for every object collected from the same. Maintaining chain of custody from discovery to disposal. This is now the real process. Simply collecting physical evidence is not enough to be a value. The evidence must be legally seized. Sasa, sio lazima kuwa exhibits tu, lakini the process in which hiyo kweli imeshikwa was it legal? Is it that the legal aliambiwa kuwa wewe tukafikia pembe huko alafu tukuje kujifanya kuwa tunataka kununua pembe tukushike? No, that is not the legal way. The legal way is that huyu mtu mwenyewe amepata pembe, mtema wewe amepata pembe, ama ameua mnyama, anataka kuuza ama ana transport. In this way, hapa katikati yaonekana kuwa kuna akona pembe. Sisi tu on the people from members of public, ama whichever way tumepata information. Then from that point now, that is a legal way in which we are following the steps that is supposed to be taken. For that exhibit to have been legally seized, properly and legally processed. Hatuwezi sema tu wacha tuandika hapa kwa hizi memo na tuseme kuwa hii ni pembe. No, mpaka tuipeleke kwa nani? Kwa the expert. That expert now is the one telling us who the pembe. There are some situations whereby we have amended the charges. Why? Because tunadhani wewe ni pembe na the expert says ni ya ipo. Ni pembe ya ndogo na sisi tunasema ni ya nini? Ni ya ndogo. Ama tuseme kama ni kadogo sana ni ya ipo. Lakini vitu vya Yesu akasema no, this is a relevant task. You see? So that is now what we want. We want to be guided by the experts also. As a KWS, we don't want to be seen as if we are the enforcing law, at the same time we are experts. No, that cannot happen. Inafaa tupeleke kwa mtu mwingine, atuambie yes, hiyo exhibit uko nayo ni pembe. Although tumekaa kwa hii sahihi, there are some people who have 40 years, 45 years, no, not 45, around 40 years in service. So, 40 years in service na amekaa kuona ndogo for a very long time, anaweza kuwa expert. But we don't use that. We want a different person to identify that exhibit. Atuambie kuwa hiyo exhibit ni pembe. Ama hii nyama si ya ibala, ni ya gazelle. Somebody can confuse between a leopard and a cheetah. A leopard skin and a cheetah skin. cheetah akiletwa, wana identifier ya cheetah ni kuwa hapo na kitu nyeusi kutoka kwa macho, inaitwa kiama. Ukiona leopard hapa leo the cheetah hapa kwa macho, hapo na kawaida keusi kamera down, lakini leopard ana. So although we know that, we cannot say this is a cheetah skin. Unampelekea expert aseme this is a cheetah skin. Maintaining of custody from discovery to disposal is still continuation. The importance of physical evidence depends on the ability to establish that a crime was committed and to show how and when, by whom, worthy and experienced investigators of the crime, the relative value of physical evidence in its original state is more valuable than the altered or damaged evidence. Tukishapata pembe kuwa in its original state. Why are we saying this? It is because at times there are what we call world trophies. Mtu amechukua pembe ya ndovu lakini amebadilisha its form into something else, like chopsticks, like beads, zile za shingo. I wish I could be able to locate the kind of exhibits to Konaza, maybe from Nairobi, that was seized from JKIA. Those exhibits, for those of you who are in training, we had some training last week here. Those of you KWS has done much in terms of intercepting distance. Because in JKIA, there is was it an Muhindi? I think so. He improvised a jacket tu kama kawaida hii nyingine, lakini akaweka another layer inside. Then alikuwa ametengeneza pembe ya ndovu kwenye beads. Kadogo akaiweka huko ndani. Those kwa tunaiweka kama na anafungisha hapo ndani. Ametengeneza hizi hata side chopsticks. Kama akasingisha, but we were able to do that. So there are so many ways these people are using nowadays maybe kushikwa. The importance of physical evidence depends on its ability. I will say that earlier. What is an exhibit now? An exhibit can be defined as a form of evidence being an object that will be able to be placed before court, which will help to prove the commission of crime, or which will link the arrested person with the commission of that crime. There is care and custody of this exhibit. Articles relating to be required as an exhibit is in connection with the offense must be taken in safe custody by an officer in charge of the investigation immediately and without delay. That is now when we take over as an investigator. We will take over these exhibits from that person who has arrested him. Now, as an investigator, we take these exhibits. Then the number of persons concerned with the handling of exhibits must be kept to a bare minimum. Hatutaki hizi exhibits zishikwe na watu wengi. Kama yule mtu ana arrest from Barcode, mahali or crime imefanyika, we want another person mwenye atashika next atakuwa the investigating officer of that case. Then from there, the investigating officer ndiye atachukua the expert. Alimkisha yeye mwenyewe. Hatutaki potential of custody iwe mrefu sana. Because inaweza kuwa hata hiyo tu ama tentative. So that is why we are saying exhibits is the minimum. The officer who has to discover or prove the exhibit should be the one to hand over to the investigating officer and to produce it in court. For those cases who have some perishables, like now the carcasses, the meat, red meat, we subject them to mtu asile crime, anapiga picha mzuri, anaproduce certificate, then we dispose the meat because at times we arrest somebody on Friday,
na hauwezi kuweka nyama sana tomato, and at times it's bad. I will show you some photographs there. Inaonyesha hakuna mahali kwenye tunaweza weka 100 carcasses of beef. Utakuta kitu na fish. We have freezers, yes, but I want to share the back number. That is why we are referring to production to the tribe single officer. Ndio atafanya the certificate and all those. The officer will be required to give evidence in court as to how the exhibit has been safeguarded from the time of recovery to production in court. That is using the chain of custody. All exhibits will be placed in safe custody to prevent access or interference by an authorized person. Tutaenda kwa exhibit right now from here. You see how that place has been safeguarded and how access is restricted. You are given today as CUC members. Ufika pale na mtaingia pale exhibit ni uone ndio iko. But for any other person, for example, you take a place that has not entered into that exhibit because we don't allow everybody to enter into that exhibit. Hatutaki hata tujulikane kuwa ni pepe ngapi tuko nayo as exhibits. Even to take a place when you are doing a mambo na cases and all this, hawajui hata ikiingiza sauti kuna kesi ngapi hawajui. Because we want to safeguard those exhibits. All exhibits who require expert examination should be well marked and exported to the expert laboratory using an exhibit memo. There is something known as exhibit memo. This is a memo or a document that gives a process of what happened, where, by who, what do you decide? Unataka kuwasakeni nini wakati unapima hiyo kitu? Like for example, giving you an example of an exhibit memo inapelekwa to, let's say, Panisi, to recover the wiki. The first thing you want to ascertain is that equipment tumepeleka a firearm? Hata kama unatoka ni but you want the expert to tell you that this is a firearm. The second thing we desire to know is it capable of firing? Hata kama ni bunduki lakini iko inapiga. Is it capable of firing? Ama firing imetolewa. Yaani in case ulikuwa tumechukua let's say the cartridge from a crime scene. We are still fired from the same fire. That is what we are want to ascertain. That is what should be clearly indicated in the exhibit memo. Because the expert will go after the exhibit memo to ascertain the species, kama ni nyama, to ascertain the species which in nyama inatolewa. In fact, we are not preempting. We are saying to ascertain the species. Hatutaki tuseme kuwa ni mbala ama ni gazette, no. Ikienda labda watatuambia kuwa that was a meat from giraffe, but not gazette. So it should be stated by an exhibit member. Each exhibit will bear a level on which will be written in ink and symbol of exhibit and it appears in the exhibit member. In that exhibit member, kuna mahali kutaisplay kusema kuwa hii exhibit tumebeba imemark as what. Ndio isiwe itanganywa na wengine. So hata identify kuwa that exhibit member imesema hizo vitu zote. Ikiweza kuwa package, mnaona kama hizi machupa kidogo tuko nayo hapa. Those ni ile tunachukua piece of meat, tunaiweka hapo ndani. So that tunaiweka hiyo na juu. So kwa sio kwa hizi wenyewe, tunaiweka na juu ile kitu kwa this is exhibit marked X, Y, whichever. So preservation and handling of the exhibit will depend on the following nature of exhibits. Tuna preserve these exhibits. Tunadependa nature of exhibits. For example, kama ni perishable, tunaweka kwa freezer. Kama ni exhibit ambayo ni liquid in nature, tunafaa kutafuta a storage in which tunaiweka kwa chupa fulani so that it is preserved. So that is why we are saying the nature of exhibit, type of exhibits, document, firearm, whatever, size of exhibit, like a bigger bulk of carcasses. Tunaweza kosa mahali pa kuweka. That is why we are documenting through there is the in-evidence acceptance of the electronic evidence. That is why in a bigger picture, examination required in favor of evidence for that particular exhibit. Submission of exhibits for examination. When it is desired to submit the exhibit for examination, agent to government chemist, forensic, we are taking our exhibits to government chemists, Kenya Service Forensic and Genetic Laboratory, document examiner, depending on the nature and what we want. All these are, where especially our elephant task, we are taking them to National Museums of Kenya. That is where we take them for expert reports to be produced. Even to Kenya Forest, for some exhibits like sandalwood. That is one of the places that we are taking our exhibits for examination. Submission of exhibits for continuation, these are still a plan section. The investigative session here with you for exhibit member will be done in the summary of the day. Exhibit evidence in court. Exhibiting evidence in court. Evidence is of little value to a criminal case if it is inadmissible in court. That is why we are taking these exhibits. The inadmissible in court, so that when we take them to court, it shows that we have totally kept, like somebody has said, yes, the receipt are there. But they are not careful. Why are you playing this? So it will be of no use to do a people will see admissible. There is that admissibility of evidence in Evidence Act. So we follow that so that these our evidence are admissible in court. To ensure admissibility of evidence in court, one should be able to identify the evidence as a third found scene of crime, display exactly where it was found. Amewezi kuleta vitu vingine, then mtu anaenda kusema kuwa alishikwa Motown na statement ama wale wengine wote wamesema alishikwa Makingani. So mpaka huyo mtu awe sure aseme exactly ile mahali penye mtu alishikwa. Evidence must be, this is now the final disposition of evidence. Evidence must be legally dispersed or to prevent major storage problems as well as to unauthorized conversion to personal use. These are some evidence or exhibits like charcoal. Ama time somebody gets in Malaysia, maybe anaweza chukua kama firewood for sandalwood. Those things. So it should be disposed in a manner that is sterile by law. State statute and city or ordinance specify how to dispose with there is that disposal act. There is the disposal act. So when these things are brought to the KWS, that is why in order at times you see the president banning the elephant tax. And I tell you, do we know why you ban? Anybody? Why do you ban the elephant tax?
You are creating a probability. You are messing up the climate change. That is why you ban. The expert is here, he has told us. But this, what you have talked about, teaching us about climate change and whatever, sustainable, what is doing? Is it having that event? I'm not asking for an answer. Can you proceed?
Okay. Yes.
I'm just challenging. Banning is destruction. Banning is destruction.
Can we do that? Yes. It is to discourage, to show that this is valueless in Kenya. That is why we are destroying it. It is valuable. Only the task is only valuable when it is in the elephant. Not wakati utakuwa umetolewa. Yes, Karen.
Talk about instead of banning, as Benson has talked about climate change,
hundreds of thousands, hundreds of hundreds.
The reason why we ban also it is the issue when you see Kenya government deciding to ban, it shows that that storage facility it's a forgiveness entities and it needs a lot of security. So ikifika kiwango fulani inabania then kama zingine zitakuja zinakuwa kept. But there is a section whereby hizo vitu zote central Rwanda in Nairobi, Kenya Wildlife Service central Rwanda. So there is a building specifically for all these entities. Sikimaliziwa kesi unamaliza inaenda to national register, to register. So ukienda hapo ndio the president ataamua kama itakuwa kept, kama itakuwa banned, kama itakuwa whichever way. So akiamua ndio ataamua, that is what is being done. But the issue is that tembe ni kwa maana ikiwa na ndovu. That is why unaona ndovu akiwa anatembea na pembe yake nzuri ndio iko na maana. Lakini ushatoka ni wao ishatolewa samani. You know, all elephants si wako na life. So ukiona huyo mnyama ni kumaanisha hiyo tembe, because why do you want to kill an elephant 18 tons and you only get 50 kilos from that elephant? Only 50 kilos. Then unaona wanyama wanasherehekea zile zingine the remaining around 17 point something tons. So that is why we are doing that. So yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
We have seen the National Police Service, especially after taking or getting those illegal guns, they normally ban them, but in front of cameras. Now my question goes to you: do you ban those exhibits, for example, the elephant horns in front of cameras, or do you ban in a private?
It is a national function that is done in an open place. It's Nairobi National Park. Mahali penye kila mtu anaona ikichoma. That is what it is done, not in a specific place. Moyo amechoma.
So does it wait for a president to ban? Because this is where I think the complaint of the lawyers, they one of them.
Yes.
Just like their complaint about bank keep somewhere. Mtu akuwa mkujo sana anaambiwa bank video yao. So now, if you are the keeper of, if you have no value for those telephone tasks, beyond that, either the case is finalized, or it is not finalized, but you have not charged anybody. Do you destroy that one?
No, the exhibits.
Exhibit is the one that goes to court.
Yes.
This other one you have just found it, you don't have any right.
Yes.
It is not an exhibit.
Yes. That is now.
It is just an item that you have found.
Yes.
It might have been illegal. Ni kama ukienda huko kwa msitu. Unaweza kuwa amekufa mwenyewe. Unaweza kuwa amekufa umeona huko hiyo pembe somewhere.
Yes.
Wewe unachukua because wewe una kirau.
Yes.
Sawa. Hutaki watu wengine wachukue. Which I think is fair.
Yes.
Unapeleka wapi? That's where.
Now, when the case, kuna an exhibit when that is for exhibits. There is now what we call trophy room. That is different from the exhibit. That is a room whereby there are so many ways we get these trophies. One, ni ile collection maybe mnyama amekufa natural. Two, ni kuwa imewawa na maybe during that process the poachers wakakimbia. Three, we eliminate mnyama mwenye ametibiwa na daktari ameona kuwa hawezi kuona anateseka with nature. We recognize that mnyama depending na the vet atakuwa ameamua namna gani. This now, why was it collected? When was it collected? By whom? Nani alipeana kama wewe kuwa collected kama ni kuwa? From what that data now goes to a different room known as the trophy room. In section 84 of the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act, it state wala government office. Hata ile inapatikana mnyama ikiwa it's a government office, ile inapatikana tu na wale huko, ama saa zingine ile imekufa. So if that is what we are saying, there is what we call the park register, and there is the national register for the entire country. When that register iko pale park ndani, ikifika kwa wakati fulani, like in quarterly, we give out the reports that we have these exhibits inakuwa transported from here to the enter into the national register. If the exhibits trophies ikiingia now to the national register, that is now to go to the cabinet secretary. Utaambia wewe kuwa tuko na certain number of trophies as per the national register of trophies in kiwango fulani, and it is there. Na ni kitu ambayo inafanywa na processes, iko na processes zake haya management laws, ndio ufike hiyo kiwango ya kufanya nini ya kuchora. So there is two distinct storage of these trophies.
Just to add something, a law that guides us on how to dispose some of these trophies, like elephant riding, and that's why we ban. Number one, is said this is the international thing to send a message out there. There are countries that feel bad, like why is Kenya banned? And by the way, there's a lot of also controversy and a lot of antithesis say that Kenya should sell this to the black market and all that, so that and invest, plow this money back into them. That is out there. But the Kenya position as at now, as of 2023, is we are banning. And the banning goes through, it has to be authorized by Parliament, and then President has to put his hand, like TSI, to make it. And it's not that we have to wait for a president to come and ban. There is that committee, as he said. They through the register, wanaangalia, they advise Parliament. Parliament will advise the president, and then the president will do his thing. And that's what we banned during President Moi, started with Moi, President Kibaki, and President. And why they use president is because this is a national figure. The message is clear. If you now engage into the politics of conservation, you'll understand.
And also, just to add on that, from the media, is the only one you are seeing. There's no any other one which is being banned without the media also without the media covering. So we don't do any other banning behind the media. Yeah.
So even the exhibits, they are not. I don't want to use the word banning. They are not destroyed until there is an order to ban.
Yes.
Or something.
Yes.
Okay.
This is like doing a community that utilizes this. They have to apply to KWS. So you see people wearing, because they are saying, you wonder how I got a sheep through KWS, and who is the trustee? You want a request for culture because they are communities, so they have permits to wear. But specifically for culture, and that culture has to be recognized. You understand? But sasa kuna zingine sasa si zote zinachomwa when that really happens. But now meat, you can't eat meat until president. It's common law to meat, they have a way of disposing it. No.
So that is it.
We just wanted to understand.
Okay. So tuko na picha hapa. These are some of the exhibits yenye tunapata. These are big things. Can you imagine this? Mtu anachukua exhibits, anachukua diki, ameona diki, that number, na anatransport hizo na motorcycle kwenda kuuzia watu diki moja shilingi 300, 300 shillings. 300 shillings, when that is what we are saying, at times, these motorcycles ilikuletea kazi nzuri na pia inatupatia shida nyingine, kwa sababu they can easily access to the individual parts ya huko ndani, you know these things. So watu wanaenda huko ndani ndio wanacamp for some days, then akishafikisha certain number wanaita watu wa pikipiki waende tu, kazi yao ni kufanya nini? Ni kufuru. This was a case in Galama and 2022 case, na watu walishikwa, na these are some of the implements. And we were saying today with Sion about the issue of silence and torches. At times somebody says, hii kifaa imekuwa handikapareka namna gani, torch imepelekwa na siren. There was time the audience aliuliza that question. Hii torch siren imeunganishwa, how does it become an handikapareka? When this local torch usiku akimulika mnyama amefit na siren kutumia hiyo matochi za kuweka hapo chini, amefit na siren inside a way that akiunganisha waya the silence inatoa ile sauti yake, ina distract yule mnyama kwa sababu amemulika direct na ni usiku na anakula hiyo kelele. So another person anatoka na huko nyumba kwa sababu kusi mnyama amekuwa distracted na kisa pesa hii, asikie movement ya yule mtu akitoka na nyuma anamkata aidha mguu shingo mchela kwa sababu mnyama amesuka because of that distraction. That is why tunasema hizo vitu unaona the torches, you are seeing this ones hizi ni silence torches zimekuwa fitted tunaona torches wanachukua ndio wachukue kwa hiyo kazi, then wanaenda panga hizi zinakuwa straight kwa sababu akafikia huyo mnyama amkate. That is why somebody asked me, he said that something like trigger, giraffe, mtu anaua aje? It is not that anapiga safari moja. Can you imagine trigger akikatwa hapa kwa mguu hapa kwa joint, atamufu sionyesha, so si anamalizia tu akiwa hapa. So that is what happened. That is what is happening. And the issue of motorcycles. Nowadays, kuna companies wanapeana motorcycles na maybe only 15,000. So somebody goes with 15,000 to a company, certain company, anachukua motorcycle, anarudi anaingia ndani hapa, anaona 50 tickets safari moja. 50 akiuza moja 500, that is 25,000. Na anaambiwa alipe maybe 6,000 shillings in a week. Atalipa wiki ngapi? Sana lipa wiki karibu 3 ama 4 safari moja. So that is why these motorcycles zimekuwa nyingi sana. Ukienda huko ndani sasa hivi utaona hizo motorcycle. This is the way they transport. Anapanga nzuri ndio ichukue hii. Hapa ni mwendo wa motorcycles. Amefunga na plada. These pladas. Then amepanga ndio sikuche that side ndio mtu anaangalia. Anasema sasa ichukue hii at once. That is something that they transport. Now we know those are 3 motorcycles. So we transport. Next. Sasa hao walichukua kabla hawajapanga na kutransport na hizo maimplants zao na kila kitu. Those ones, they have 186 liquids. These are photographed from also that place known as Garana. So I think that is the end of what I had for you today. You are highly welcome to Southwest National Park, which you are in and the one
is that the reason why they are keeping the chain of custody is to eliminate that doubt that indeed the exhibit we have before the court is the one that was recovered from the scene. So my question is, and what he has not told us is, at what point do they now start keeping the chain of custody? Is it at the point of recovery, or vile tu wanasema tulifika kwa KWS office ndio tukaanza kuandika statements? Secondly, as we prosecute these matters and the courts are here, we've not seen this chain of custody form. What we see is the inventory and maybe the way certificates and the certificate of enlargement of prints and photograph. But I'll encourage you that going forward, you'll be coming with this form, the chain of custody form, so that we know the movements of these exhibits from the time they were recovered, or rather from the time you started keeping the chain of custody up to the time that we have them in court. So at what point do you start keeping the chain of custody?
The chain of custody is not only the form, but how these exhibits has been kept from the time of arrest or seizure. to the time that has been produced in court. This involves several notes that you will see today. It is not only the form. There are several notes that shows the movement of these exhibits. I think when we go up there in some few minutes to come, you will understand more about it. But you are requesting that maybe we bring this, the jail of custody forms and something like that. We produce them because they are there.
The issue was, at what point does it start? Because someone might claim that you have arrested me with 2 or 3, then in the Fika station you have 5. At what point does it start?
Time of recovery. So the recommendation is produce and put it in your file.
Maybe I have got to the afterwards, but I think it is fair to thank all the presenters for the able presentations they made. And we just say that what we are asking, we are not opposing anything, we are just trying to understand. And we have been called upon to be part of the same chain of trying to live in a world where we are living together with animals, with plants and water and sunshine and clouds. And all those are part of the ecosystem. It is true. So this is what we are all trying to do, and it is a good interaction. The issue of the chain, I think the last presenter was talking more about basically the concern. It is just some food for thought to reflect and consider on. The concern is the disposal of these items that are being called either suspected exhibits or exhibits. Once they remain in the custody of the enforcer of the law, the suspicion will still be there that these people are recycling. If the enforcer of the law has finished, I think there should be a law that if they are meant to remain there, it should go somewhere else. No, not to remain there. Even if it has to wait for a president to do whatever, it has to go somewhere else, other than the enforcer of the law. The other thing is about this chain of custody of the exhibits. I think it can be recorded, and I think the police, one of us is here, police officer. The chain can be just the same way the police explain that this is a blood sample. It was taken by Dr. So-and-so from that place. It was given in the presence of a police officer.